Hi, this is Jenny from Gentry Whole Foods. You're in my home kitchen today and we're going to be making a delicious and simple recipe for Maple-Chilli Glazed Pork Chops. So just to get started, I have my sauté pan here with about a tablespoon of olive or other vegetable oil in it. I'm going to turn that on to medium-high heat so it gets warmed up before we add in our pork. Here I have two center-cut bone-in pork chops. They're cut about 3/4 to 1 inch thick. If you would prefer to use a pork chop without the bone, that's fine, you can do that, but I think that the bone adds in just a little bit of extra flavor. So just to start off, we're going to be seasoning them with some black pepper and sea salt on both sides. I like to use kosher salt for this, but you can use any salt that you have at home. So pretty liberally on both sides with the salt and pepper. Okay, so once your oil is heated up and it's shimmering, then you can grab your tongs and add your pork chops in. This recipe is also easily doubled if you have more people to feed. Okay, so we're going to let those saute in the pan to get some nice color on both sides. We're going to start the first side off for about 5 minutes. Then we're going to flip them over with the tongs and saute them on the second side for about another 5 or 6 minutes. If you have one of those instant read thermometers, you could stick it in the middle and see if it's done. It should be about 160 degrees Fahrenheit before you want to take it off the heat. If you don't have one of those thermometers, that's fine. Just make a little slit in the center of the pork chop. Take a peek inside and it should be just barely pink in the middle and the juices should run clear. Okay? Okay, so our pork chops are done cooking. And they've been resting on a plate here, tented with foil for about 5 minutes. Now you want to make sure that you do that so that the juices can kind of redistribute themselves in the meat, and once they rest, the internal temperature of them will just rise a little bit more, so they'll continue to cook a little bit. You want to make sure after you have switched the pork chops over in the pan to cook them on the second side that you do lower your heat to about a medium or medium-low setting, and then just continue to cook them like that until they're done. So here they are here. You can see they're nice and browned. And we're just going to let these sit here while we make the pan sauce. So this is the maple-chili glaze part of the pork recipe. So I'm going to turn my heat back on to about medium-low. The pork that you get in the grocery stores or from your butcher nowadays is pretty lean, so I'm not going to bother pouring off any bit of oil that's in the bottom of this pan. There's only a little bit left anyways, and I'm not sure if you can tell on camera, but there's quite a bit of flavor left in this pan, all those brown bits on the bottom. They're called the fond, and that's what's going to give your sauce a lot of flavor, so you want to leave those in there too. Okay, so once your pan has heated up a little bit, you're going to be pouring about 1/4 cup of maple syrup in. Make sure that it's real maple syrup and not like Aunt Jemima table syrup. You're not going to get as nice a flavor with it. And this maple syrup that I have here is a dark maple syrup. It's called Amber. It's really nice for cooking, but you can use any maple syrup that you have in your fridge. So I'm going to pour that in here. And as it sizzles, I'm going to use my spoon to scrape up any little bits of brown pork that are on the bottom. I'm also going to add in about a tablespoon of soy sauce, a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. You can use a grainy Dijon or even just a regular yellow table mustard if that's all you have, and half a teaspoon of chili powder. So they all go in the pan. I'm just going to stir them up to combine. And then I'm going to add in my pork chops and any accumulated juices that are on the plate. just going to put them in there, turn them over once or twice just to coat with the syrup. And there we go, we're ready to eat.